Good morning, children. Hello, good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you are all keeping well. And I pray that all of you keep well. Okay? Have a nice day. As we come to the class, did you read your lesson yesterday? The tsunami? Did you understand the lesson that I explained to you? I hope so, because I was taking very slowly only. I don't know whether you were able to follow. If you have any difficulty in listening to the class, please let me know. Okay? And so there is a comprehension. After the first, I told you, this lesson has got 3 parts. That is, first part we saw yesterday, that had taken place during the tsunami in 2004. December 26th, that had the incident that took place in Andaman Nicobar Island. Okay, that was the first part of the lesson. So there is after this there are 5 sentences are given for your comprehension. What is the meaning of comprehension? Comprehension means after you read the lessons, then you read the sentence, you must be able to tell whether you have understood. In order to check your understanding of the lesson that you have learned, few sentences are given there for comprehension. Okay, the first sentence is, say whether the following are true or false. You have to tell, after understanding the lesson, you must tell whether these sentences are true or false. Okay, please take your textbook, page number 27. We will directly go to the class. Okay, I hope all of you are ready for the class. Okay, now the first sentence is, Ignatius lost his wife, 2 children, his father-in-law and his brother-in-law in the tsunami. Yes, they explained to you. How many children Ignatius had? Very good, 5 children. And 2 of them caught hold of his father-in-law and brother-in-law and they were washed away. Is it not? Yes. So the sentence is true. He lost his wife, his father-in-law, his brother-in-law and 2 children were swept away by the water. That sentence is true or false? True. Very good. Now, second sentence is, Sanjeev made it to safety after the tsunami. Is it that sentence is right? Sanjeev made it safety after the tsunami. Was Sanjeev alive? No. Who was Sanjeev? He was a policeman working in Katsol. He tried to save his wife and child, but in order to help the other person, he went to help that family, that is John's wife, the cook of the guest house, but they both washed away. Is it not? So that sentence is, so it says that Sanjeev made it safety after the tsunami. Is this sentence correct? False sentence. He was no more, is it not? He was swept away by the tsunami, is it not? So sentence is wrong. Third sentence is, Meghna was saved by a relief helicopter. Yesterday I saw Meghna was floating on the log, that is wood, and the helicopter flew above her head 11 times, but they did not see her. But she saw. So who saved her? This the helicopter saved her? Relief helicopter saved her? No. That sentence is wrong. How she was saved? A wave itself brought her to the harbor, to the shore. So that even third sentence is also wrong. It is a false sentence. The fourth sentence is, Alma's father realized that a tsunami was going to hit the island. True or false? Very good. True. Alma's father sensed, because he saw the water was going back and then he understood it will come back with great force. So it is that sentence is true. The last sentence, that is the fifth one. Her mother and aunt were washed away with the tree that they were holding on. So they were holding on the coconut leaf, is it not? So what happened? With that tree was uprooted and they were washed away. So the sentence is right or wrong? Right. So this is the comprehension. So when you read carefully only you will be able to understand. Okay, so this is the way sometimes you may get questions for your examination also. That means comprehension of the passage will be given, then similar sentence. This is very simple, but in the other ways you will get a complicated sentence. Maybe similar sentence very difficult to understand. So you have to understand the lesson very carefully, the meaning of the lesson carefully. Only then you will be able to do the comprehension. Okay, okay children, I hope you all understood. Now let us come back to the second part of this text, the lesson, Tsunami, page number 27. Please take all of you. I hope you are all ready with the class, as I said in the beginning. And some of you, I don't know whether you are able to attend the class properly. You have to take every effort, children. Make use of every opportunity that is before you. Okay? Now, come back to the lesson. Look at the textbook carefully and listen. Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl, was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket beach in Thailand. It is we have seen in the first, I said it, Thailand, Andaman Nicobar Island, that is in India, and some part of Tamil Nadu, coastal places. This tsunami was affected Islam. And Thailand. Now, yesterday we learned what had the incident that took place in Andaman Nicobar Island. Today you will learn. The second part you will see what had the incident that took place in Thailand. Okay. So, Phuket beach in Thailand. So, it is a story, the Bill Smith. Okay. Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl. She was able to help many people. How? We will come to know how she was able to help many people. So this should be a lesson for you also to help the people from this kind of situations of life. Okay. Now, again coming back to the lesson. Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl, was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket beach in Thailand. Though she has won a number of awards, her parents have not allowed their daughter to be interviewed on the television and made her a heroine. So, because this girl saved the life of many people, but her parents never allowed her to interview with the people, because they may have their own reason, because she may become world famous, she may become a heroine. When some people do great things, they will be made known to know. So, but her parents never allowed her to interview with the media people and television people, nothing, because they don't want to make her a heroine as a young girl. Why do you think they took that decision? So, what do you think? Maybe you took that decision, those parents took that decision. You will find out the lesson. Let us follow the lesson, then you will understand what this Tilly Smith did, how she saved the lives of many people during the tsunami. Okay. Now here is a story from Thailand. So this incident is, I told you this is a story, but it's a real incident that took place. I told you yesterday. Okay, it is from, now yesterday we saw Nicobar Island what had happened, and this is the we are in Thailand now. Okay, with the tsunami. The Smith family from southeast England were celebrating Christmas at a beach resort in southern Thailand. So, this is Smith family. They were celebrating their Christmas in a beach where southeast England were celebrating. So, they were in England, okay? They were there celebrating. So, they came here in Thailand maybe for holidays. See, foreigners will come now. We can see foreigners in different beaches taking bath, sunbath, and moving, tourist people like that. So these people also, they came from southeast England. They came to Thailand to maybe for their tour. So it was during the Christmas. They were in Thailand. Is it clear for you? Tilly Smith was a 10-year-old schoolgirl. How old Tilly Smith was? She was only 10-year-old. Her sister was 7 years old. And she had a sister who was 7 years old. Their parents were Penny and Colin Smith. What are the names of her parents? Penny and Colin Smith. So their parents, maybe together with these children, they visited Thailand during the Christmas season. And they were there in Thailand. They were in a beach when this tsunami occurred. Okay, so this is the... now let us follow the lesson what had happened. It was this 26th December 2004. Deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. So they were in the beach, is it not? They were just tourists like they were there on the way. So this tsunami happened, occurred. These people, family, the parents and the children were on the already. They were there. It was on their way. They had been tricked by a massive earthquake of northern Sumatra earlier that morning. What is the meaning of tricked? Caused. Okay? To describe a sudden violent, its meaning is here in your textbook. A sudden violent reaction here and understanding earthquake. So the earth was shaking. So she understood. So they faced that. It's an early morning. So it was on December 26th, 2004. Deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. They had been tricked by the massive earthquake. So very massive earthquake. The earth was shaking of a northern Sumatra earlier that morning. So early morning they realized that there is an earthquake. Where they were? They were in Sumatra. The water was swelling and kept coming in. Swelling means what? So much water. The words were so swelling means what is the meaning of swelling? See, for example, if you have some kind of things, swelling means the body will bulge out. No, so the same thing, the water was so heavily up, it was coming. It was so too high. The water was swelling. It is coming in. Penny Smith remembered the beach was getting smaller and smaller. So the parent of the child, realized that water is so much coming in, the beach was becoming small. See, if you look into our this side, Gunnapura side, some years back when I came, the sea was so far, but now sea is so near. It came closer to the land. So that is suddenly this man realized this during the tsunami, the water is coming so inside to the shore and the land is becoming smaller. The beach is becoming smaller when the water come in. No? And I did not know what was happening. It says that he did not know what was happening. But Tilly Smith sensed that something was wrong. Her mind kept going back to a geography lesson she had taken in England just 2 weeks before she flew out to Thailand with her family. So, when they were in the beach, they saw the water is swelling, the water is coming up, great giant waves are coming, and the harbor is becoming, or the seashore is becoming smaller and smaller, and full water is covered, and they did not know what is happening. No? But this girl, Tilly Smith, saw this situation, and she remembered a lesson that she learned before coming to Thailand. So maybe in the class she learned in the geography lesson, she learned maybe about tsunami and things like that. Let us see what is happening. So she remembered the lesson that she learned in England just 2 weeks before she flew out to Thailand with her family. So when the tsunami was taking place, she very clever girl, is not? She remembered what she learned. Do you remember what you learned in your 7th standard? I don't know. We may study for our exams. Of course, last year you had very little class, is it not? But we must do whatever we learn, it should apply to our life. So this girl, what she learned, the lesson in the geography class, she remembered when the tsunami was taking place. Let us see how she acted upon it. Tilly saw the sea slowly rise and start to form. Bubbles and foam whirlpools. That means the water was forming, so much forms were there, and it was coming like this rounding, whirlpools, right? Rotating the water like that. So then what happened is, kept the slowly rising and started to form bubbles and form whirlpools. She remembered that she had seen this in the class in a video of the tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian island in 1946. So in an island, Hawaiian island, she learned a lesson. The teacher explained to her, and she saw the video which maybe the teacher showed in what the Hawaiian island in 1946. So what had happened? The teacher explained to her in the geography lesson. So she remembered that. Her geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them that tsunamis can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes and landslides. So her teacher explained, the tsunami takes place. Yesterday I told you what is tsunami. It is an earthquake under the sea. Because of that the water rises. So she remembered, her teacher explained her, tsunami takes place because of the earthquakes or volcano or landslides in the sea. So she remembered the lesson when she saw this, the chaos that she was facing when they were in the beach. Tilly started to scream at her family to get off that beach. So she remembered, she knew what will happen. So she screamed, she shouted loudly to tell her family, run away, to go to a safe room. She screamed means made a big cry at her family to get off the beach, come out of the beach. Then she was insisting them to run away from the beach. She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical. So, said hysterical means when you are in a hysterical, you are shouting, laughing, crying. It is a sense of being, some kind of fear, anxieties, and they don't know what. She was simply shouting and screaming. She was in a very fearful situation. Because she knew what is happening. She knew what is happening because she learned the lesson. She was in a hysterical, it is a psychological word, hysteria. It is a science, a kind of fear, anxieties, and people will sometimes, some people will shout, in an anger mood. Why? Because they are not in a sense. They are out of their sense, which means a kind of fear, anxiety that takes place. So she was in a hysterical mood and she said to her mother, Penny, I don't know what a tsunami was, but Tilly started screaming at her family to get off the beach. She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical. So she was getting frightened. She was in so much anxious, anxiety, fear and things were there like that. Said to her mother, Penny, I don't know what a tsunami was, but seeing my daughter so frightened, I thought something serious must be going on. She said, the Penny, Penny's mother, she says that I never knew what is tsunami, but my daughter, by seeing her anxiety, fear, shouting, screaming, she's telling all, run away, save yourself, run away from the beach, go to a side. So she was screaming, and by seeing them, she understood something is going to happen. So she says, I never knew what a tsunami is, but my daughter told me a lesson. By seeing my daughter's reaction, her anxious behavior, her shouting and screaming, she thought that something is going to happen, something is happening. So she understood that. Tilly's parents took her and her sister away from the beach. So they ran. They took Tilly and her sister, and they went to a safe place, to a swimming pool at a hotel. So they went to a hotel, to the swimming pool at a hotel. So they came for a tourist, they may not know, they wanted to enjoy their life and things like that. So by this situation, these people went to a swimming pool, they went to a restaurant, a hotel where they can spend time. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. So there were so many people came from abroad in England and different places. By seeing the situation, most of them went to another safer places. They went to hotel and they were there. I didn't know. To speak tourists also. So with them, that family, her father, mother and these 2 children along with some other tourists also. They all went to left that beach with them. So they all went away from the beach. Then it was as if the entire sea had come out after them. I was screaming, run! So then they saw the great giant waves were coming to the shore and simply flooding everywhere. The seashore covered with full water, and she was screaming and telling, run, run. They were all running to a safer place. The family took refuge in a 3rd floor of the hotel. The building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. So they went to a hotel and they booked to the place and they were on the 3rd floor. They say that simply. A family took refuge in the 3rd floor of the hotel. The building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. If they had stayed on the beach, they could not have been alive. So since they saw the situation, they understood something is happening because of this girl screaming and things. They ran. So she could save many tourist people. So because of this girl, they ran away from the beach and they went to a hotel, and at the 3rd floor they were staying. They booked and paid money. Almost, how to go when you go to the hotel or Lord, just how you have to be. So they went there and they were watching. So they saw 3 heavy times, 3 tsunamis they could see. It says that heavy thing there. But if they were remaining in the beach, what would have happened? Surely they would have been washed away. Isn't it? They would have all go to the sea because of the heavy. So this girl's attitude, she remembered her lesson. This is what in our life also. Our experience, our learning should teach us new lessons in our. Every day is a new day, and we learn new things must be applicable to our life. Okay, we must. So this girl was very, very brave girl. So if she was not doing that, they could have remained in the beach and already would have died. But because of this particular girl, many lives could be saved. The Smith later met other tourists who had lost entire family. Then they saw so many other people, many lost. Okay, she could not save all the people, but at least a few she could save. And Smith, she said, she met many other people, and so those who lost their families and many people who died. Thanks to Tilly and her geography lesson, they had been forewarned. So she says that thanks to Tilly, the small girl, she and her geography lesson, what she learned saved the lives of many people. Tilly went back to her school in England and told her classmates her terrifying tale. So when she went back to her class and she was so happily sharing with her classmates what had this terrible, terrifying, fearful tale means story. Okay, so she explained what had happened. Her experience she shared with her classmates who learned the lesson. Because of her learning, could save lives of their family as well as many other people. So this is the second part of the lesson. Children, read the book carefully. Some of the difficult words are given for you. And still if you find difficult words, as I said yesterday, refer the dictionary, learn the meaning and understand the textbook. If you don't understand, you will not be able to write your question answers. Okay, whether true or false or answer the following. So after this also, after each part you will have a comprehension check. You will, after reading it, I want you to read it not once, read 2-3 times, still you understand the lesson. You should be able to narrate these stories in your own words. Okay, so read the lessons. Thank you. See you in the next class.